I never liked budgeting. I'd download all the trendy apps, swear this would be the month I stuck to it, and then 3 weeks later, I'd feel guilty, overwhelmed, and somehow even more broke. Sound familiar? So one day I quit budgeting. For real. No more color-coded spreadsheets. No more expense tracking. No more mental math at the grocery store. But here's the weird part. That's when everything changed. I didn't go broke. I didn't lose control. In fact, I quietly started building real wealth, and I didn't even realize it was happening. That's the part no one tells you. Getting rich isn't about becoming a spreadsheet wizard. It's not about skipping lattes or memorizing your bank balance. It's about doing a few smart, almost invisible things over and over until your money starts working harder than you do. I'm not talking about extreme couponing or cutting your own hair to save $20. I'm talking about small mindset shifts. Habits so simple, so boring, no one ever notices them, but over time, they changed my entire life. So if budgeting has ever felt like a job you didn't sign up for, or you've tried to be good with money and still feel stuck, in this video, I'll show you the 6 quiet, frugal living habits that helped me get rich without ever needing a budget. No gimmicks, no sacrifice, just real life, low-stress strategies that work in today's world. Let's begin. Habit 1. I stopped renting my convenience. Modern convenience spending is the new silent debt. I didn't realize it at first, but I was renting my life in little chunks. Food delivery, streaming services I barely used, same-day shipping, cloud storage subscriptions I didn't even need. It wasn't just the money. It was the mindset. I was outsourcing every tiny inconvenience for the sake of saving time. But in reality, I was just bleeding cash. Here's what I changed. I didn't cancel everything overnight. I just started asking, am I paying for speed or am I paying to avoid discomfort? Uber Eats?
Gone.
I started walking to the store again. 5 streaming subscriptions?
Cut to 2.
Auto-renewed productivity apps I hadn't opened in months? Canceled. At first, I felt like I was downgrading my life. But about 30 days in, I noticed something unexpected. I felt calmer. There was less digital noise, fewer notifications, less urgency, and my bank account, it was finally breathing. According to a 2025 survey by Bankrate, the average person spends $291 per month on subscriptions alone, often for things they forget they signed up for. That's nearly $3,500 a year going poof silently. By pausing and reevaluating where convenience was costing me, I created automatic savings without budgeting a single thing. You don't need to track every dollar to build wealth. Sometimes you just need to stop letting money drip away in the background. And for me, that started by quitting the habit of renting my convenience. Habit 2. I adopted the 48-hour rule for small purchases. Not big purchases, the small ones that drain you. Everyone talks about holding off on big purchases, like waiting 30 days before buying a car or a $1,000 gadget. But the truth is, those weren't the things draining my money. It was the small stuff. The random $18 must-have from Amazon. The $27 LED lights I saw in a TikTok video. The $12 water bottle that looked aesthetic. Individually, they felt harmless, but together, they were sabotaging my savings. So I started a new rule. If it costs less than $40 and I don't need it, I wait 48 hours before buying. No cart. No save for later. Just wait. And here's what happened. I usually forgot about it by hour 36. Impulse buys are designed to trigger your emotions, not your logic. In fact, a 2025 consumer study found that over 60% of online purchases under $50 are made within 3 minutes of seeing the product. That's not strategy, that's dopamine. I wasn't budgeting these purchases. I was just pausing. This one habit saved me more than $250 per month. But more importantly, it trained my brain to sit with the discomfort of not clicking by now. That kind of discipline builds silently. It doesn't feel heroic. It feels like nothing happened, which is exactly the point. You don't need to cut out all fun. Just give your money a moment to breathe before it disappears. The 48-hour rule didn't restrict me. It freed me. Habit 3. I only bought things that could make me money or save me time long term. The asset filter, that changed everything. One simple question changed how I spent money forever. Will this help me earn more or save time in the long run? If the answer was no, I passed. No matter how tempting it was. I call it my asset filter. It's not about buying stocks or real estate. It's about treating everyday purchases like investments. I bought a used espresso machine for $120. Stopped spending $5 per day on coffee. Paid for itself in a month. I invested in a course that taught me how to freelance landed my first client 3 weeks later. I skipped the $60 shoes that looked cool, but added no real value to my life. I stopped buying things that looked valuable and started choosing things that were valuable. The beauty? You don't need to budget when your purchases are filtered by purpose. Every dollar I spent became a tool, not a treat. And over time, that mindset shift quietly compounded into financial freedom. No app can track that kind of clarity, but once you learn to buy like a builder, not a consumer, your money starts working for you. Habit 4. I started living like I was 5 years ahead. Reverse lifestyle inflation on purpose. Most people upgrade their lifestyle when they expect to earn more. New job, nicer apartment, raise, better car, promotion, fancier vacations. I did the opposite. I asked myself, if I were already financially free 5 years from now, what would future me actually care about? That version of me didn't need to prove anything. They didn't chase trends or try to impress anyone. They lived simply because they had nothing to prove. So I began acting like that person early. Instead of buying a new car, I kept my reliable 8-year-old one. Instead of upgrading my wardrobe every season, I leaned into quality over quantity. Instead of saying, I'll enjoy life when I make more, I learned to enjoy it with what I already had. Living below my means wasn't a punishment. It was a strategy. Because every time I didn't level up, I widened the gap between my income and my expenses. That gap, that's where wealth grows. You don't need to fake being rich. Start acting like someone who's already at peace with money, and you'll quietly build a life that actually feels rich. Habit 5. I tracked what made me happy, not my expenses. Budgeting used to make me feel anxious, like I was constantly failing at managing my own life. So I tried something different. For 1 month, I didn't track where my money went. I tracked what made me feel genuinely happy. I called it my happiness tracker. Every night, I jot down 3 things I spent money on that day and rate how much joy, peace, or fulfillment it brought me on a scale from 1 to 10. Here's what I learned fast. A $9 smoothie with a friend, 9-10 happiness. A $55 impulse clothing buy, 3-10 and forgotten within a week. A $5 secondhand book that changed how I think, 10-10. It blew my mind how often I was spending money on things that didn't even make me feel good. So instead of budgeting by numbers, I started cutting the low joy expenses and doubling down on the high return ones. No guilt, just clarity. That simple shift made saving feel empowering, not restrictive. Because I wasn't just saving money, I was designing a life that felt better. And that's what real wealth is: spending less and enjoying more. Habit 6. I learned to sit with the discomfort of not buying. Impulse control is the richest skill in 2026. This was the hardest one and the most powerful. Every time I wanted to buy something but chose not to, I noticed a strange feeling, a little itch, restlessness, even anxiety. At first, I thought something was wrong, but then I realized that's the feeling of breaking a habit of buying comfort. Most of us are trained to solve boredom, stress, or sadness with a purchase. But wealth grows when you stop reaching for your wallet every time you feel something. So I practiced sitting with that discomfort, breathing through it, naming it, letting it pass. And slowly, something incredible happened. I became less reactive, more grounded, more in control, not just of my money, but of myself. The richest people aren't the ones who buy everything they want. They're the ones who've mastered the art of not needing to. Looking back, I didn't follow the typical roadmap to wealth. I didn't track every dollar. I didn't use a budgeting app. I didn't force myself to be disciplined. I just built a life where discipline happened naturally. I made small changes, quiet ones. I stopped renting convenience. I waited 48 hours before impulse buying. I filtered every purchase through the lens of value. I lived like I was already financially free. I tracked joy instead of numbers. And I learned to sit still in the silence of not buying. None of these habits are flashy. They don't make for exciting social media posts, but they work because they focus on mindset, not math. If you're tired of feeling like you're bad with money, if budgeting makes you feel like you're always behind, then maybe it's not you. Maybe it's the system you've been told to follow. Wealth doesn't always start with big income or strict plans. Sometimes it starts with changing your relationship with money, one quiet habit at a time. Because the truth is, you don't need a budget to build a rich life. You just need to live like the version of you who already has one. Now, if you want to learn how to achieve financial success, then watch this video next.